This is the date and time set for sentencing in this matter. Mr. Warner, did you have a chance to go through the pre-sentence report and talk to Mr. Travis about that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any victims that wish to address the court?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Travis, you and your client can be seated. And are you Ms. Wooden?
Yes, I am.
You can sit if you'd like, or you can remain standing.
Where do you want me?
Just at that table right there.
Okay.
Just if you could, for the record, just state your first and last name, please.
Lorna Wooden.
Okay.
Last year, Jacob Rohner approached me about doing odd jobs. He needed work and was trying to get his life together. He was out on bond and looking at prison time for habitual drug charges. He was very convincing that he just needed someone to give him a chance. I did give him a chance, and we helped him with transportation to and from work. We helped him with transportation to and from his mandatory drug tests at the sheriff's office in Bel Air. In December 2024, I hired Mr. Warner to shovel the snow off several of my roofs. I had to leave for a couple hours. It was a really cold, snowy day, so I left my door unlocked just in case he needed to get warm or use the bathroom. My significant other picked him up later to give him a ride home. When he arrived there, Mr. Warner was looking for a glove that he lost inside my home in my bedroom. Mr. Warner was out of his mind, drugged, making no sense. He couldn't even stay awake on the 10-minute ride to his home. When I arrived home, I walked into my home to find the kitchen cupboard doors opened, noticed my cash was missing right off the bat. I then went into my bedroom where most of my valuables were, to find my underwear drawer ransacked, my jewelry all over my bed. My safes were out, excuse me. My safes were out from underneath my bed, and one of them was open. All the rest of my drawers had been ransacked as well. The nightstand was dumped out. There was cash, prescription drugs, 2 rings, and my late grandfather and my father's military service coins, and my family heirlooms coin collection missing. I instantly contacted Mr. Warner and gave him 1 hour to bring back my belongings. He, of course, failed to do so. After the hour, I contacted the police. Mr. Warner made no attempt to return any of my belongings. Mr. Warner admitted to me and my significant other and the police that he had taken things off my property, and over the next couple of days admitted to stealing several things in text and voicemails, which we turned over to the police. We provided these texts to the police, and the police also asked Mr. Warner if he would just return the family stuff. I wouldn't press charges. He never did. Sorry.
It's okay, take your time.
Even after all of us trying to get the stuff back, it disgusts me how selfish he is that he would not return these items. I figured the cash and the prescription meds were gone, as he was pretty whacked out of his mind for over 24 hours on whatever drugs he had stole from me or bought with the items he had stole from me. He was so whacked out at the time, he even broke his mother's wrist during this when she tried to confront him about getting my items back. That was handled by the state police. I sincerely had just hoped that the family things would come back. One of the rings Mr. Warner stole was designed by my late father, and it was a gift for my 16th birthday. Still fit, believe it or not. The cash and the prescription drugs I can live without, but my father and grandfather's coins are another story. Mr. Warner has refused to even tell us where he sold them to or traded them for his drugs. Some of the coins that have taken have been in my family for over 100 years. My grandfather was a World War I veteran, my father a Vietnam War veteran. Most of these coins came back with them from overseas, from them fighting for this country. There is no price to replace the sentimental value for myself, my sons, or my grandsons that would have inherited it someday. Mr. Warner was charged with felony larceny as a habitual offender and was offered a plea, which he accepted. The plea was for attempted, which is a misdemeanor, with no consideration for my entire family and our family heirlooms that are gone forever. He continues to get away with these horrible things he does with just a slap on the hand and probation. He thinks that stealing is okay, and that is just so wrong. I no longer believe in helping out people. I don't give them just a chance anymore. I now have security cameras all over my property. If someone is doing work for me outside, they no longer can use my bathroom. They can go down the road and use the stores. I'm not sure I will ever get over the loss of this family stuff. My privacy was invaded knowing that he has gone through my underwear, my bras, etc. These are very private things, and it is very disturbing behavior for somebody to do that. This is just not just heartbreaking for myself, but for my 82-year-old mother, my sons, and my grandchildren. As the victim listening to this crime, I think it is so sad and honestly feel it's a crime itself that even with the evidence and multiple confessions, he gets away with a misdemeanor so he can go do this to someone else, as he has been allowed to do repeatedly. This was not his first time or his second with stealing things or drugs. He continues to hurt whoever he chooses to feed his drug addiction. I know that I can't change that the offer for the plea was for a lesser charge, but I would ask the court to please consider these are not just things that he took. These are items that were meant to be in our family and are part of our family. When will he be taught that stealing is wrong? When he is using drugs, he is a danger to others and is proven by breaking his own mother's wrist. I ask you to also consider that my grandfather was a World War I vet, and his military memorabilia is lost to my family forever. I ask that you please sentence him with the most severe sentence that you legally can and the longest jail time or prison time that you can. I also ask the court upon release that besides probation, you put him in a long-term drug program. I think it is the only way that we stand a chance that he will not continue to do this to society. He has learned how to get away with doing drugs and what drugs he can take for 24 or 72 hours that'll be out of the system. Please make his punishment stiffer so that no other family has to go through what mine has. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I think what the statement of Ms. Wooden exemplifies in this case is that when people commit these types of larceny offenses, it's not really so much the property itself that's the problem. I think clearly Ms. Wooden has insurance and she can be compensated through insurance. The defendant will be forced to pay restitution. But really what the crime does to victims and to the community is it makes them feel unsafe and untrusting in their own homes. She's much less trusting of these individuals. She feels that her personal space, her personal items have been violated. And that's certainly understanding, and it's heartbreaking. And it's the real problem with these types of offenses. It creates a general distrust of other people in the community. I think what I would be asking the court for is a lengthy term of probation with some jail in advance. That's somewhat complicated in this case by the fact that he's already on probation in another case, and he will be on probation for the next 2 years. So I guess what I would ask the court to do is either to consider some upfront jail in this case, send a message to the defendant that this type of behavior has lasting implications, not just for the victim in this case, but for the community at large. Or alternatively, to hold some jail in abeyance and make sure he does follow through on that other term of probation and make sure that he does get the help and the treatment that he needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Warner, if you want to come back up to the podium, please. Mr. Travis, anything on behalf of your client?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I would note there's at least what I believe to be an update to criminal history attached. I don't see anything relative to assault. Mr. Warner, obviously you've got the rest of his CCH. There is a pretty long history of substance abuse problems, among other problems. He does come before the court, having done, I think, about 4 months of drug testing and having that going well. He is getting Suboxone treatment. I think that's part of where probation is making their recommendations. He's actually doing fairly well with the substance abuse problem as he stands before the court today. Obviously, that wasn't happening back when this occurred. Obviously, that wasn't happening when he got a substance abuse charge in Antrim County, to which he's on felony probation for that. I think Mr. Warner has expressed to me numerous times his remorse. As you may note from the report, he doesn't exactly agree with what happened here, but obviously something happened. Things are missing, and he admitted to much of this. So, Your Honor, we would ask the court to follow the recommendations. Thank you.
Mr. Warner, anything you wanted to say today?
Yeah, I just want, I'd like to apologize to the courts, and also Glenna for having to go through with this. Back when this happened, she was a friend. I shouldn't steal from friends because as friends help each other out. I just was in a bad way. I was homeless, living in a motel, but I'm just, please let the court see, give me an opportunity to keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
All right, I did read through the report, so I'm familiar with the factual basis for why you're before the court on this charge today. There's lots of information in there about your background, your prior charges, your circumstances in general. And I take all that into account along with what you've had to say here today, what the lawyers have had to say, Ms. Wooden, certainly what you've had to say. I appreciate your comments. I think you really articulated very effectively what it's like to be the victim of this type of crime. And your feelings came across very clear to me. And it's very apparent to me how this would affect somebody, not only from the standpoint of just a violation of your personal private space, but the loss of things that really don't have a monetary value. I'm sure that you would give up that $500 in a second to have back those things that are really irreplaceable and don't have anything to do with the monetary value. And, you know, it's supposed to be a victim impact statement. It tells me how this has impacted you, but it also has an impact on me because you can read stuff in reports all day long, but until you have somebody come forward and express, as well as you did, the actual effect on your life, and not just your life, but really generations of your family who are no longer going to have these items that they otherwise would have. I'm not trying to upset you more. I'm just trying to express to you that I think it's important that you came and made that statement today. I'm sure it wasn't easy for you to do. To come here as a victim of a crime and stand in a public place and talk about what you talked about. I think it's important that you did that, and I appreciate it. I think it sets a good example for other victims. Despite the progress that you've made, it doesn't do anything to make this any better. And there's a price to be paid for your conduct in this case. Part of sentencing is the goal of rehabilitation. In other words, what can we do to help you get better so that you don't do this again? But part of sentencing is also punishment. So that you understand that there are consequences to your actions, and that if you are going to voluntarily use substances, that what you do while you're under the influence affects other people, and you're responsible for that, and you're accountable for it. And so in my view, there needs to be jail time here, given your past record, given the significant impact that this has on the victim, given the fact that it wasn't just money or prescription medications that you took, but you took items that were priceless to these people. And I think that calls for punishment in this case. And so the guidelines in this case are 0 to 9 months. I think the 9-month sentence is appropriate given the impact of your actions in this case. And I think what is absolutely justified in asking the court for that, and I believe that it's justified by the facts in this case.
Sure, I have a 4-month-old baby that I'm the sole provider for my house. Yeah, I totally. My fiance don't work, is not working at the moment. We have an 11-year-old daughter and a 4-month-old daughter.
Yeah.
I apologize. I didn't even take them items that was the ring or anything like that. I took the pills out of the pole barn or out of the garage in a tow. That's all I took. And I even offered her to give her back to her. So, I don't know, I'm sorry, I just am, I know I messed up, I know I did it, is there any way, like, I can get like a delay?
No,
Like,
you've had delays in the past. You've had chances to avoid jail in the past. This is the consequence of what you did. And it's unfortunate that you have children and a mother of those children that are going to suffer because of your actions, but you put them in this position with your own actions. So that's your fault. You're going to have to deal with it. I think 9-month sentence is appropriate. So the court is going to sentence you to 9 months in the Kalkaska County Jail. You do have credit for 2 days served. Court is going to order restitution in the amount of $500. Crime victims assessment of $130, court costs of $325, attorney fees of $350, and a $68 state cost. You do have the ability to seek an appeal of this sentence. Mr. Travis, if you can have Mr. Warner acknowledge receipt of his appellate rights. Mr. Warner, these papers are going to explain to you what your appellate rights are, as well as how to request a court-appointed attorney to help you with